Back when we designed Apple's homepage on WordPress, I got some requests from some of you all about dedicating a video to exclusively work on their header. You see, Apple's header has gone through many different design iterations over the years, and the one that they're currently rocking right now is very well thought out. It consists of a mega menu, which on hover it expands and allows users to see more shopping categories to browse through. And on mobile, it totally changes to a simple sandwich menu for an enhanced responsive experience. All right, let's build this out. Okay, if you want to follow along on your end, I'm going to be using Thrive Architect to design this whole thing. Now, keep in mind that in order to be able to use this across your entire website, you also need to be using Thrive Theme Builder. You can find links for both of these tools down in the description box below. Okay, let's get building. Okay, so I am currently in a testing environment website. Okay, this is my playground website where I can just build things. No one's going to see them. So if you're building or following along on your live website, I want you to do the following. I want you to not build your Apple header on your live page, because that is going to obviously affect the entire aesthetics of your website. But instead, what we're going to do is we're going to jump into Thrive Dashboard. And inside Thrive Dashboard, we're going to find a section called Global Elements right here towards the bottom. Let's click on Manage Global Elements. And here you're going to find all of our global elements powered by Thrive themes. These are symbols, templates, headers, footers. And we're going to create our Apple header inside this section. We're going to create a new header, and it is going to be called, let's just start from scratch and completely build this out from scratch. Let's choose a blank header and let's just call it Apple. Perfect. Let's do got it. And as you can see, we're presented with a blank template, and let's just really quick jump into apple.com and figure out what the header looks like. We're looking at a header, which we've already talked about this before, but on hover, it expands and it allows users to see more shopping categories that they can browse through. On mobile, the header just completely redefines itself by changing layouts, right? We are now presented with a 4-column layout. It's actually let me draw this out, right? We have a 2-column layout. In the left-hand column, we've got a simple icon, which is Apple's logo, but this is essentially 1 column. And then in our right-hand column, we've got another set of columns. In this case, it's going to be a 3-column layout. And that is, well, it should be fairly easy to build with Thrive Architect. Now, I do want to break apart how the desktop version is made up of different columns as well, because we do have a series of columns that we need to make sure we respect. So here, the Apple icon should be its own column because it doesn't have any functionality, right? We need that element to sit on its own apart from our actual menu. This is going to be our big menu, right? It's going to be made up of a mega menu. So this has to be its own column because it presents its very own functionality. We then have a search bar, which is going to have to be a different column. And then we've got a shopping bag icon. If you're using WooCommerce, Thrive Theme Builder works really nicely with that. So the shopping bag is going to be its own column again. So we're going to have 1 column for the shopping bag, 1 column for the search icon, a column for the entire menu. So that's 3 columns, and then a column for the Apple icon. That's a 4-column layout. Important, we are going to be treating the mobile menu and the desktop menu as different menus, okay? So we're going to be using a content box. Let's stick in a content box. This is going to be our menu for desktop devices. So we're going to comment to responsive, and we're going to make sure that this content box is only visible on desktop. We're going to hide it on tablet and mobile. And then we're going to drag in a different content box underneath that content box. And we're going to make sure we hide that one on desktop and so that it's only visible on tablet and mobile devices. Why do we do this? Well, we do this because these layouts are so different from one another. I mean, let's check it out again. Can you see how we've got a 4-column layout here as opposed to a, well, this is a 4-column layout, but the layout changes so much that it's just going to be a little bit difficult for me to convert the desktop header into a responsive working header for mobile devices. And it's just easier for me to build 2 different headers, one that works for desktop devices and one that works for mobile devices. All right, so let's start first with the desktop version. Again, we need a 4-column layout. So let's stick in 4 columns inside this content box. And we can make them even for now. Probably going to change that in a second, but for now, let's do even columns. Let's do our Apple icon here towards the left-hand side column. And I need the icon. All right, let's stick it in there. Let's make this probably about 40, 48. No, it's even too big, 24. Let's try with 24 pixels. Then we're going to have a menu. It's going to be a mega menu in our left center column. And we can just power with a basic one for now. We are then going to need a search bar. And our search bar is simply going to be made up of an icon. All right, so it's better if we do a 2-step search bar, and a very simple one, a very minimal one. Probably, let's just go with that one for now. Great, and I don't want to enable 2-step search. Don't want to see the expanded search in the editor for now. And then I need an icon. Now, I don't have WooCommerce installed, so I'm going to operate under the assumption that, hey, if you've got WooCommerce installed, you're going to see a widget inside Thrive Architect that says, WooCommerce mini cart, I think it's called. I don't have WooCommerce installed in this playground website, so I'm just going to do a shopping bag icon. Let's just do that one, for example. Great. Let's make this 24. We're going to make this one. Let's actually get rid of the background color for now. This is, hopefully you can see that anymore and it's not in your way. Let's edit the form elements. Let's get rid of the background color for this. Let's make the opacity 0. And I think the loop, the magnifying glass, needs to be white because our search bar background is probably going to be, well, not probably, it's going to be black. So let's just make the header have a background style of, let's make it fully black for now. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 zeros, and that makes our header be completely black. Let's make the shopping bag icon white, although I don't think it's going to be fully white. Let me grab this grayish color. Okay, and that should be fine. Okay, let's make the typography of our menu items white. Typography, let's make it white or grayish. Let's do the grayish. Let me actually grab the proper colors from Apple. If I zoom in, I don't know if it's white. It looks like it's only white when you go on hover. Yeah. It's grayish, but then when you hover over it, it turns white. Interesting. Okay, so let's keep it grayish then. Let me see here. That's much better. Yeah, that's a much better tone of gray. Let's make that the same type of gray. Instead of white, we're going to make it grayish. Apply. Done. Let's make the shopping bag that exact type of grayish. I'm going to actually save it as a favorite color. And that should be good. All right, so now what we can do is collapse these columns to make sure that the mega menu has the most amount of space out of all of these columns, because we're going to need a lot of space. And we're going to go ahead and get rid of some of these paddings and margins that all of these columns and content boxes come with. Perfect. This mega menu probably has some margins. The image probably has some margins. Yep, probably this magnifying tool thing. Shopping bag icon as well. Great. Mega menu. And let's pick out our parent group of columns here from the breadcrumbs. And let's make sure that we center everything vertically speaking. I think I want to bring this over even further more to the right. Okay, and now what I want to do is, first of all, save my work, make sure that I don't lose any of this work. Let's get rid of some of these margins as well. Perfect. I'm going to leave 20 pixels of internal padding in my parent content box, the content box that holds everything nicely together. And now I'm going to spend some time actually bringing in some of these menu items. I may fast forward this process because all that I'm going to be doing is picking out some of this content: store, Mac, iPad, iPhone. All right, so let's jump into our menu, simple mega menu items. So we're going to do store. Let's actually do this. So all of these are probably going to be mega menus, right? So let's do store, apply. And under store, we have shop the latest, Mac, iPad, iPhone. Okay, so let's do shop latest. And we can do Mac, iPad, iPhone. What else do we got here? We've got Apple Watch, Apple Vision Pro. All right, let's do Apple Watch, Apple Vision Pro, Apple Vision Pro. And let me see how Apple is doing the child elements here. We've got shop the latest, Mac, iPad, iPhone. But none of these actually have child elements. It just happens to be that we've got a three-column layout. All right. So we've got store, we've got Mac, iPad. Let's do a could probably do like a three-column layout. And okay, and I probably want to make this black, the background style of this mega menu. So let's just make this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Let's make the typography white. Okay, let's make it grayish. Okay. And all right, so I'm thinking a couple of things here. Show menu description. Oh, interesting. So here's the thing. As of right now, we can't just drag and drop additional columns into our mega menu. We need to work around our existing menu items. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to get rid of all these child elements for now. And I'm doing this just because we want to try to get as close to that of Apple's. Oops, I think I deleted one. Shop, Mac, iPhone, iPad. We want to try to get this to look as closest as the menu from that of Apple. And check this out. Check out what happens right now. It looks okay. The problem is that Apple has all of these stacked in one column. So instead of doing 3 columns, if we do 1, okay, and we get rid of all these top borders that I don't love, and on hover, we don't change the background style. We make this white. Main options, display. You could do image and text. And you could have all of these have their own little image. That would be nice. Shop the latest. I wonder if we can make that look cool. Well, for now, let's just do text only like Apple is doing. But, all right, active hover. Let's change the background style. I don't want any of this to be visible, right? And then I do want to change the typography on hover to make sure it's white. Okay. And now this is starting to look really cool. Perfect. So let's do the same thing for more menu items. Let's do iPhone. Let's do, we're gonna need one for Mac. Let's just do, oh no, what did I do? I got rid of the store one. Mac. And we're gonna do, let's do iPad. Guys, do yourself a favor, hit save. Saving your work makes sure that you don't actually lose any of your progress. After these many years, I still make that mistake every now and then. All right, iPhone, I'm gonna do Apple Watch. Let's do, I think they call them, they call it Watch and Vision. Watch, let's do Vision. Let's do AirPods. We're gonna do TV and entertainment. We're gonna do, oh no, it's TV and home, sorry. TV and home. Okay, let's do entertainment. We're gonna do accessories and support. Accessories and support. It's a lot of menu items, let me tell you. Okay, so step number 2, I want to figure out how big this font size is. So I'm going to inspect this element, and I can tell that it's about 12 pixels big. I haven't said this in this video. I've said this many times before in build with me type of videos, but if you want a font style that matches that of Apple's, look for Enter. It is a Google font that I'm currently using, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, I'm using Arial. So let's change this. Let's make it Enter. Perfect. And we're going to make it 12 pixels. And that looks kind of really small, but they do have a whole lot more breathing room in between menu items. So let's come here and let's do spacing between. Let's do 12. That's a lot of space in between. Okay, 8 pixels still looks like a lot. So let's do 4. All right, 4 doesn't look too bad. Hey, this is starting to look pretty nice. If we hover over, we've got that Apple-like menu experience. Not bad. Not bad at all. I wonder. Okay, I have some ideas in my head right now, but I'm gonna save them for later because I'm not sure if we're gonna get to it. So, okay, so far this is looking pretty neat. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the experience is looking pretty nice. Now, I want you to take a look at this. Can you see how on scroll, can you see how the header has a little bit of opacity? Because you can see how the image is, you can see the background of the header is it's letting a little bit of the background image come through the header itself. Right? So you can tell that it's not a fully black and dark header. There's a little bit of opacity assigned to it because they're allowing a little bit of light to come through. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to go back into our header, and instead of doing a fully dark header, let's just give this, let's do like 90 of opacity. So this should allow us to have a little bit of light pass through. Okay, next step. We're going to jump into our Apple build page, which is this one in my case. I'm going to click Edit with Thrive Architect. Make sure I hit save. And I want to see what that header looks like. So I'm going to change the header, and I'm going to use the Apple header that we've been working on so far. Okay, cool. And we're going to continue to work on this page, okay? Just because I want to make sure I give you guys some context as to the functionality of the header itself. So I'm going to close the other tab, and we're going to continue to work on our header within this page. So let's click edit this header, and let's make the header itself sticky. Perfect. And it's going to be sticky until the end of the page. And on scroll, it shouldn't switch. I should be... Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm happy with these with this configuration. All right, I do feel like it's a little bit too tall, so we can probably get rid of some of this. Does the header have like a minimum height? Maybe no. So the content box, let's get rid of some of these top and bottom margins. That's much better, and we may be able to just make it have maybe like 12 pixels of top and bottom padding. That looks better. I might make these icons a little bit smaller. Let's make them 20 pixels. And yeah, no, the magnifying glass is okay. All right. And I'm going to hit save and I want to preview what this looks like so far. Okay. On hover, hey, can you see how the title and even the image is passing through the header a little bit? That is due to the opacity configuration that we just did. I'm not sure if I want to increase it even more. Let's try with a little bit of more opacity. Let's see what happens. Let's edit the header, background style. Instead of 90, let's do 80. Let's see. Oh, you know what's happening? Right now, the header itself is sitting on top of our hero section, and Apple is not doing that. If you take a look, the header of Apple is sitting on top of the hero section. I mean, not on top, but, well, actually, yes, physically on top of the hero section, whereas in our case, it is sitting above our hero section. So we want to make sure that we can place the header on top of the hero section. How do we do that? Well, first things first, let's set this back to 90 for now. And let's go to scroll behavior, sticky header options. Let's make it sit over the content. Right, so right now it's sitting over our hero section, which is what we want. And I think I do want to bring down the opacity a little bit more. It's too dark. Let's edit the header, background style. Let's make this 80 and see what that looks like. See what that looks like. Let me preview the page. That's actually Apple's homepage. We're looking for this page. Okay. Okay. All right. That looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Okay. I wonder if it's too dark, isn't it? Ours is too dark. Maybe not. Is it just me? It's too dark and too tall. We want to make it even thinner. Okay, so let's decrease the opacity a little bit more. Header, background style. Let's make it like, I wonder if 60 is going to be too light. And then let's get rid of some of these. Let's just get rid of all of the paddings inside the content box and see if I'm more happy with that. All right, save. Boom. And this is Apple's homepage, not mine. Okay, I think that's much better, isn't it? It looks much better. I probably want to make this not be fully black either. Let's make it have 60 of opacity as well so that it matches the color of our actual header. So let's make this have an opacity of 60. Okay, and I wonder if we could have this a maximum width of what, 80% maybe? 90. Let's do done, save, and let's see what that looks like. I'm kind of really liking this. Shop the latest. I probably want to make this even thinner, but the functionality is there. Now, the idea that I had in mind, folks, is would it look cool if I were to break this up into 2 columns, these menu items? Okay, so simple mega menu. Instead of making this be, what if we made this, instead of 1 column, 2 columns, and we were to add images to these menu items? There's something, I feel like it would look better. Let me see what that looks like in a 2-column layout. It may be good. Store, it doesn't look too bad. With some actual product shots by these menu items, it would probably be better. I don't have, so here's the thing. How do you take this up a notch? You add in some product images by the names. And how do you do that? Well, I kind of showed you earlier. If you do edit header, you can do image and text, and you would upload an image of each individual product. The problem is that you want to make sure that you use images that are exactly the same proportion and ratio. Otherwise, it's going to look kind of funky. But I don't have those images by hand. You would probably have to custom make them. Like I would have to Photoshop an iPhone product shot in a 100 by 100 image ratio and make sure that it looks clean, make it transparent and so on. But yeah, that would be a next step. All right, let's concentrate on the mobile version because I'm kind of happy with the way this is looking already. So let's do edit header. And now we're going to jump into header, header. Let's do responsive. Show all hidden elements. So now we need 2 columns, right? As we discussed earlier. We've got our top header, which is going to be the one for desktop. Now we want to drop in some columns. It's going to be a series of 2 columns. Inside our left-hand column, we're going to duplicate this Apple icon. We're going to drag it and put it in there. Perfect. Important, make sure that we center everything vertically speaking. Inside our right-hand column, we're going to drop in our series of 3 columns, if I'm not mistaken. And here we're going to drag and drop this shopping bag. Let's duplicate this, put it in there. This magnifying glass, duplicate, stick it in there. And this mega menu, I wonder if we want to do a mega menu actually. I mean, for the sake of saving ourselves some time, let's just see what that looks like. Let's duplicate the mega menu, drag and drop into the empty column there. Great. And type, let's do hamburger. Now, I think, actually, I did it wrong, if I'm not mistaken. I think Apple has it in the right-hand column. Yeah, our mega menu needs to be all the way on the right. So let's drag and drop it underneath the shopping bag. Let's take the shopping bag, put it there. And let's change the color of our sandwich menu. Perfect. This is kind of a real mess right now. So let's make sure that we do columns, make sure everything is vertically centered. That looks good. And now we can start squashing things to the right. Alrighty. Put this over to the right hand side. And actually, I want to make sure I don't go way over the screen. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Okay, that's starting to look good. Let's get rid of some of these margins and paddings. Same thing for the content box. And I'm going to leave those, but just make sure that I don't have any here. That is a huge sandwich menu. Let's make it 24. It's even smaller. Let's make it 20. And can we change the icon? Let's see. Send. I don't know that we're gonna have a sandwich icon that is only 2 lines. You could look for one. I don't know that we have one. Oh, look, that one looks kind of cool. It's an equal sign. It's a little bit too thick compared to the one from Apple, but let's just roll along with it for now. Okay. Columns. Let's make sure that we don't have anything here. Content box. I have a feeling that this is just going to be too tall. So now it's just a question of going in one by one and making sure that nothing has weird, there you go, margins and paddings. That's much better. All right, let's hit done. Let's hit save. And let's see what that looks like. So I'm going to jump into Safari. And let's just go into responsive mode. Okay, that is an utter mess. Okay, how do we fix that? So first of all, these columns are wrapping. What does that mean? It means that Thrive Architect on mobile is stacking each column on top of each other, right? It thinks that it doesn't have enough real estate to fit everything inside a single row. And so it's saying, okay, I'm running out of space. I'm going to start stacking things on top of each other. In this case, these columns on top of one another. So let's tell Thrive Architect not to wrap our columns because we do have enough space. So let's jump into edit header, responsive, don't show hidden elements. So let's hide the column on desktop. And let's start bringing things over to the, okay. Well, first of all, let's tell Thrive Architect, hey, don't wrap these columns. Great. And now let's make sure that these columns are also not getting wrapped. Remember, we've got a series of, first we've got a 2-column layout parent container. And then inside our right-hand column, we've got a series of 3 columns as well. So we've got columns getting stacked on top of columns that are already stacked. We want to make sure that we unstack all of those columns by unchecking wrap columns. There you go. And this is starting to look pretty cool. All right, so here we want to make sure that here we've got plenty of room. This is good. Column, got 22%. Column, we've got 19%. I think I want to make this column a little bit thinner. And I probably want to make this column also a little bit thinner. But layout and position, main options. Let's put this over to the right hand side. That is already being placed. So this is just, this column is just too wide. Maybe it's 15. There you go. And this is, yeah, that's much better. So now it's just a question of making sure that we get the alignment right for these columns. Which is okay. Now it's important. Do you see how some of these elements are overlapping on top of each other? It's actually important that we fix this, okay? The easiest way to do that is to just come inside my columns. Let's do, for this column, yeah, this is way too wide. I just don't want to I want to make sure that none of these columns are overlapping each other, because if some of these columns are on top of each other, when people go and click with their fingers, they may think they may be clicking on the sandwich menu icon, but in reality, they may be clicking on an element that is on top of that one, and you're going to break some functionality there. So we want to make sure that none of these things are sitting on top of each other. Okay, and now let's come into the columns, gutter width. Let's make this 0. Perfect, and let's just push that over. Okay, I think we're good now. And if we wanted to, we could get rid of these 20 pixels of padding. Perfect. So this is good. This is good. I think I'm happy. I could probably make that smaller, but overall, I think I'm happy with that. Let me see what that looks like. And that is looking okay. So we want to make sure that it starts working at 320. 320 is the smallest screen width that we can work on. And all of these things seem to be working fine. Oops, yeah. Functionality obviously doesn't work because I haven't configured that, but these things work fine. So as we scale up, yep. So we can probably, I would probably spend a little bit of more time fixing the width of those columns, but hopefully you get the gist of it. And voila, magic was done. Apple-like functionality was implemented on our WordPress website, and I truly hope you found this useful. I'm down in the comment section in case you need any help with something. And yeah, I appreciate your time. Thank you. See you soon. Bye.